Hello and welcome to the Real-Time Fantasy Sports Show. I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer for Real-Time Fantasy Sports. And on today's Real-Time Fantasy Sports Show, I'm going to give you 5 waiver wire ads for week 3 of the fantasy season. I know there were a ton of injuries last week, unfortunately, so the waiver wire will be a busy place in many leagues, and there are a lot of options out there to consider adding to your team if you need to bolster your roster because of all of those unfortunate injuries from week 2. So I'm going to dive into it right now. Again, there's a lot of guys to consider picking up, but these are 5 of my favorite ads for this week. So I'm going to jump right into it right now. My first one's Darrell Henderson with the Rams. So he was a non-factor in the opener, but he got his chances last week and made the most of it. He had 121 total yards and a touchdown in the game. He looked explosive, got work in the passing game. Cam Akers also was injured in the game. He could miss some time. So this could open the door for Henderson to get more work even more going forward. So I think that's a positive as well. And there were a lot of owners that dropped Henderson after week 1. So go grab him if he's available. I think he could be a big factor in this offense going forward. Another one of my favorite waiver wire ads for this week is Gardner Minshew of Jacksonville. Yes, I'm on the Gardner Minshew bandwagon. I think he's the real deal. He has looked very good in his first 2 games, top 22 fantasy points for the second straight week last week. He also hit the 300-yard mark in that game last week, threw the ball 45 times. I think this could be a trend for this Jacksonville offense. I think they're going to be a little more pass-heavy with Minshew leading the way for them offensively. And look at his schedule the next several weeks. Minshew plays the Dolphins, Bengals, Texans, and Lions his next 4 games. Those are great matchups for him. He's still available in about 46% of leagues on our site. If you need a QB, I would go get Minshew and plug him in your lineup for the next 4 weeks. All right, another waiver wire ad to consider for this week is Mike Davis with Carolina. Unfortunately, Christian McCaffrey suffered a dreaded high ankle sprain. He's going to miss some time. This leaves Davis as the likely next man up for the Panthers. He'll get a chance to start. He is not Christian McCaffrey, don't get me wrong, but he has some potential, especially because he's more of a 3-down player than some of the other fill-in backs that are getting a chance this week in NFL lineups. I think Davis could get a lot of work. He caught 8 passes for 74 yards last week. I think he has some real potential as a flex player going forward as a starter as long as McCaffrey is out of the lineup. All right, another waiver wire ad to consider is KJ Hamler with Denver. So the rookie gets a chance to start because Courtland Sutton is out, unfortunately, with a torn ACL. He's done for the year. Hamler gets a chance to play a big role offensively for Denver. He had 3 catches for 48 yards last week, targeted 7 times in that game. He got a lot of work. He's a talented player. He's going to get a chance to start. So he's worth adding if you're looking for some receiver depth. My last waiver wire ad to consider for week 3 is Dalton Schultz with Dallas. So Schultz got a chance to start because Blake Jarwin was injured, and now Schultz is the next man up, kind of like Mike Davis, and he looked great in an expanded role last week. He had 9 receptions for 88 yards and a touchdown. It's kind of a surprise to see him get so much work, but he was targeted 10 times in the game. Jarwin was supposed to have that breakout year at the tight end position for Dallas this year. Maybe Schultz is the guy now. He's going to get a chance to start. Looked great last week. So, again, if you're looking for some tight end depth, if you need some help at the position because maybe your starter's not performing, I think Schultz is worth adding. He showed last week he can produce big with the chances. All right, those are 5 waiver wire ads for week 3 of the fantasy season. My wavering article is up on our site now as well. There's a lot of options on that in that article besides these 5 players. So take a look at it if you're looking at wanting to add a lot of players to your team and you want to look at some other names besides the ones I mentioned on here. So I really appreciate you watching the video today. I look forward to bringing you another one tomorrow. This has been Jeff Paur for Real Time Fantasy Sports. Have a great day, everyone.